All right. So, welcome, John. Back to the Zoom room.
And you know,
We're just going to dive straight into our reading from the clarification of terms today, which is section 4 of the clarification of terms, which is on perception and knowledge. So, it's clarifying what those terms mean. Okay, so let's jump into it. Let me share my screen. Okay. All right, so there's the headline. It's about true perception and knowledge, clarifying those terms. If you want to uh, read it in the original and then the alternative, we'll just get a chance to make any edits as we go.
yeah, the world you see is an illusion of a world. The world I see is an illusion. God did not create it, but what he creates must be eternal as himself. Pure formless awareness of perfect love did not extend it, for what it extends must be eternal as itself. Yet there is nothing in the world you see that will endure forever. Yet there is nothing in the world I see that will endure forever. Some
So we
things
say
will last.
perceive that.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I perceive. There's nothing in the world I perceive
See
will
that.
endure forever.
Yeah. Some things will last in time a little while longer than others. Some things will last in time a little while longer than others. But the time will come when all things visible will have an end. But the time will come when all visible things come to an
Hmm,
end.
that would be better, yeah.
Yeah.
All
But the
visible things will
will
come
end or just end.
come to an end or will end.
You've got one coming there. You've got one come in that sentence already. But
Yeah, the time will come when all visible things, yeah, will um will end maybe or have an end.
yeah, yeah, have an end or end. Yeah.
All visible things will end. Yeah. Um, okay, so what's he
So it's saying here that the world that we see is an illusion and it was not created by, it could not have been created by pure formless awareness because that only creates eternal things. And everything we see in the illusion will come to an end at some stage or another.
oh, inevitably. So all things pass away. That's the nature of the impermanent illusion. In the Buddhist teaching, they call it anicca. Everything's impermanent in this world. It doesn't last. And so on that basis, it's unreal. You know, that's Yeshua's definition for reality. He's saying if it lasts, it's eternal, then it's real. And if it's not, and it can fade away, then and not be, then how can it be real? Evidently, because it's not always going to be there. So it's the only basis on which you can define reality. Does it last? Is it permanent? So on that basis, you know, the world we see is unreal because it's impermanent.
Yeah.
It seems to, you know, as he says, some things seem to last longer than others. You know, sometimes you might have a relationship, a marriage that goes on for 50 years. It seems to last a long time, but relatively in time, it's actually just a fraction of, you know, of the whole span of time. It's a tiny tick of time, really. It just seems to be a long time to us in like human lifespan. and the civilization we've built. And I think it's humbling to think, um, if you did a timeline of the whole universe, and you put us on that timeline, I think we've arrived in the last 10 seconds of
Yeah.
it, in a 24-hour span of time. It's in the last few seconds, humanity has actually arrived, and we go, oh, this is reality and it's so important. And actually, it's just a tiny tick of time, as he says, in the whole span of time. And none of that time is real anyway. From the beginning of time to now is all an illusory. So it gives us, the course gives us this, a much bigger perspective on time, and helps us to see it for what it is, and then go to the obvious alternative, which is eternity. Say, well, let's go to something that doesn't change, and that's reality, and that's home. Okay, so happy to move on to number 2.
Yep. The body's eyes are therefore not the means by which the real world can be seen, for the illusions that they look upon must lead to more illusions of reality. The body's eyes are therefore not the means by which the real world can be seen, for the illusions they look upon must lead to more illusions of reality. And so they do. So they do. For everything they see not only will not last, but lends itself to thoughts of sin and guilt. For everything they see not only, or will not only, For everything they see
Yeah.
not only will not last, but lends itself to thoughts of sin and guilt.
How about we say, for everything they see is not only impermanent. It's just better, I think, better sentence structure.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's not only impermanent, it lends itself to thoughts of sin and guilt. Well, everything that pure formless awareness of perfect love extends is forever without sin, and therefore is forever without guilt. It's forever without sin, and therefore is forever without guilt. Okay, so we'll keep that, because remember, sin leads to the guilt. If you think you've sinned and you've destroyed love in order to have your own identity, then guilt is the natural consequence of that belief in sin. And then you must feel guilty, and you must think you deserve punishment, and then fear comes about, and attack thoughts, and so it goes. But if you simply go, well, it's never really happened, and I've never departed from pure formless awareness of perfect love, there's no reason for sin or guilt, then I'm back in this eternal state of pure formless awareness of perfect love, where nothing's ever changed. Okay, so any other thoughts on number 2?
No, I think that's good. Knowledge is not the remedy for false perception, since being another level, they can never meet. Knowledge is not the remedy for false perception, since being on another level of the mind, they can never meet. The one correction possible for false perception must be true perception. The one correction possible for false perception must be true perception. It will not endure. But the time it lasts, it comes to heal. But for the time it lasts, it comes to heal. The true perception is a remedy with many names. The true perception is a remedy with many names. Forgiveness, salvation at one, atonement at one, true perception, all are one. Forgiveness, letting go, salvation, atonement, true perception, surrender are all really one. They are the one beginning, with the end to lead to oneness far beyond themselves.
We say the same, all really the same.
Yeah. I'll say it. They are the one beginning with the aim of leading to oneness far beyond themselves. Oneness with a capital O.
Yeah, oneness should be helpful. I agree.
True perception is the means by which the world is saved from sin. The sin does not exist. True perception is the means by which the world is freed from sin. The sin does not exist. And it is this that true perception sees. And it is this that true perception perceives.
True perception, true perception perceives this. True perception perceives only this.
I'm
Let's read that
reminded,
from the top.
yep, knowledge is not the remedy for false perception, since being on another level of the mind, they can never meet. The one correction possible for false perception must be true perception. It will not endure, but for the time it lasts, it comes to heal. True perception is a remedy with many names. Forgiveness, letting go, salvation, atonement, true perception, and surrender are all really the same. They are the one beginning with the aim of leading to oneness far beyond themselves. True perception is the means by which the world is freed from sin. The sin does not exist, and true perception perceives only this.
So what's he saying in that one?
Actually, what it kind of makes, just sparks off for me, is that section, maybe chapter 28, where it says sin is only in the past, and by dredging up old memories of sin, it's particularly pointless because it happened in, A, it didn't happen, and B, it happened in the past. It just helped. I just find this notion of it happened all way back in the past helpful.
Yeah, a past that never really happened. And this is the the dream of time. It's like, well, all these events that happen within this construct are unreal. Everything that happens within the construct, because only eternity is real. Eternity doesn't change. So the past and whatever's happening now is illusory. It's just it's a departure from our true awareness, which never really happened. So how can there be sin? So the logic of the course is impeccable. Of course, the ego, resists it and tries to believe in what it's miscreated. But without sin, if you really understand that none of this really happened, then there's nothing to feel guilty for. Then there's no fear, there's no attack thoughts, there's no concept of a fearful, wrathful, vengeful God. There's no need to accuse, blame, and attack others. There's no need to be a victim. All of that just disappears, doesn't it? If you go, well, it's never happened.
Yeah.
So it's the one correction, which he calls forgiveness or at one-ment. So these blue arrows symbolize that correction. That's the at-one-ment, that's forgiveness, that's letting go, salvation, surrender, acceptance, whatever you want to call it. It's that process of moving the mind from being very identified with and attached to this false reality based on sin and guilt and a false self-concept of being an individual self to back to pure formless awareness of perfect love. Maybe just show you this diagram again. We've looked at this a few times in the last couple of days as well, but this illustrates it quite well because there you've got true perceptions or Christ's vision or corrections or forgiveness or miracles or letting go or salvation, surrender, acceptance, at one-ment. It's all the same thing. This is what he's talking about. It's all whatever you call it. It's that process of moving from being identified with form, thinking you're a little individual life, human being, living your little life in this world, to transcending that into the concept that you're one self. You're the true self, which is extended by God, extended by pure formless awareness with perfect love. And that is kind of the halfway house between here and eternity. So to bridge the gap between time based on perception and eternity, which is timeless, the letting go is required to identify you, with the true self that is timeless and has the quality of the eternal about it, because it can't change. It's never changed. It's the same as it was in the beginning. It is now, and it will be at the end of time. It's the same. It's the same self and the same awareness that underlies the self. And that's really what he's saying. So it's important to realize where we're at. This process is just to extract us from the dream, extract us from the matrix. And letting go or forgiveness, whatever you call it, is what's required to move you from being identified with this dream and move you into the Christ awareness. Okay, so happy with number 3?
Yep. So number 4, the world stands like a block before Christ's face. The world stands like a block before your true self's identity.
My true self,
My true self. Yes. But true perception looks on it as nothing more than just a fragile veil, so easily dispelled that it can last no longer than an instant. But true perception looks on it as nothing more than just a fragile veil, so easily dispelled that it can last no longer than a moment. It is seen at last for only what it is. It is seen at last for only what it is. It is perceived at last for only what it is. And now it cannot fail to disappear. And now it cannot fail to disappear.
Bit of 4, maybe as is perceived at last as only what it is. I think that's better than 4.
Yeah.
As only what it is.
And now it cannot fail to disappear. But now there is an empty place made clean and ready. Where destruction was perceived, my true self's identity appears, and in that instant is the world forgotten, with time forever ended, as the world spins into nothingness from where it came.
The world spins into nothingness. As the world spins, is there a better word than that? The world fades away.
Yeah.
spins into nothing. I wonder why he's chosen the word spins.
Hmm. Yeah.
Maybe because it spins on its axis.
Yeah. Yeah.
The world fades away into nothingness from where it came. And what we struggle with, in our human selves is like, well, this world seems to be so big and real, and all these physical laws govern it. The thought that it's just not there is inconceivable to the ego. It's like, well, how can your whole planet and your whole solar system, your whole, galaxy and the whole universe just not even be there?
Yeah. I
Because
think what
the seeming physical reality of it is, presented to us every day. That's what we're born into. We're born into the matrix, and that's all we know.
and I think what comes the slight challenge I feel with this one is that it's everything that fades away. All the
Mm,
relationships and all the histories and of
mm,
relationships, all
mm.
the love. I mean, well, no, love doesn't go, does it? Love stays.
No, that's the one thing that's eternal. The love that you felt here is just a pale reflection of divine love, of pure formless awareness of perfect love. So whatever genuine love you felt for another person or animal or something, if it was genuine, unconditional, that is just a taste really of divine love that awaits you beyond. So, you haven't lost that. That was just an inkling, a little glimpse of this divine state where there's only love, where it's not love. I mean, our love in this world is so fragmented and so tense. It's elusive, isn't it? It's like, well, yes, I love you, and then okay, something's changed, and then it becomes maybe difficult to love you because you don't do what I want you to do, or you die. You go away, you die. So it's a very just unsatisfactory, by comparison to eternal love that never changes and never fades. And yet somehow we try and content ourselves with that by coming back here over and over, seeking the little scraps of love the world gives us and denying, this transcendent, all-encompassing, universal, unconditional love that awaits us beyond the scraps. And he's saying, well, just wake up to what's available. This isn't reality. The love that you experience here is just, if it is genuine, it's a taster. It's just like the warm up, really, a mere taster of what divine love feels like, and you can have that all the time. So imagine the most loving awareness you've ever had in this life, and then you multiply that by 100 times, and then he says another 100 more, and then you only have a mere glimpse, an intimation of what it will be like in the state of pure formless awareness, of perfect love. Pretty mind-blowing stuff, really.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other thoughts on number 4? Can we go to number 5?
No, let's go to 5. A world that has been let go. A world that has been let. Hang on. A
A
world
world forgiven,
forgiven. A
original.
world forgiven cannot last. A world that has been let go of cannot last. It was the home of bodies. Bodies. But forgiveness looks past bodies. But letting go looks past bodies. This is its wholeness. This is how it heals. This is its pure formless awareness. This is how it heals. The world of bodies is the world of sin, for only if there were a body is sin possible. The world of bodies is the world of separation, for only if there were a body is separation possible, or relief in separation.
Yeah. So the world of bodies is a world of sin. For only if there were a body, is sin possible. From sin comes guilt. Surely as letting go takes all guilt away.
And from sin comes guilt as surely as forgiveness takes all guilt away. And once all guilt is gone, what more remains to keep a separated world in place? And once all guilt is gone, what more remains to keep a separated world in place? That's a nice one. But place has gone as well, along with time. Place has gone as well, along with time. Only the body makes the world seem real, but being separate, it could not remain where separation is impossible.
Should we say space there?
Yeah.
The space is gone as well along with time. And what we're talking about is space-time continuum.
Yeah.
Space-time simply disappears. The space is gone as well. I mean, he directly related to place for the space. How might we say it? For the space for places to exist has gone as well. Seemingly exist has gone as well along with time. So time-space collapses, essentially, is what he's saying.
Yeah. Only the body makes the world seem real, or being separate, it could not remain where separation is impossible. Letting go proves it is impossible because it does not allow you to perceive it. Letting go proves it is impossible because it does not allow me to perceive it. And what you then will overlook will not be understood to you, just as its presence once had been your certainty. And what I then will overlook will not be understandable to me, just as its presence once had been my certainty.
Had once been my certainty. Just read that from the top.
A world that has been let go of cannot last. It was the home of bodies, but letting go overlooks bodies. This is its pure formless awareness, and this is how it heals. The world of bodies is the world of sin, but only if there were a body is sin possible. From sin comes guilt as surely as letting go takes all guilt away. And once all guilt is gone, what more remains to keep a separated world in place? For the space for places to seemingly exist has gone as well, along with time. Only the body makes the world seem real. For being separate, it could not remain where separation is impossible. Letting go proves it is impossible because it does not allow me to perceive it. And what I will then overlook will not be understandable to me, just as its presence had once been my certainty.
So what's he saying there?
He's saying that once we let go of the world, it goes entirely. There is no sense of time, space, bodies. All of it goes because there's the only thing that holds it together is guilt. And if guilt's gone, then there's no cement to hold it.
So it all fades away and is undone. And then at the end we go, well, this is just not understandable to me. Because once my certainty, I go, well, that makes no sense whatsoever. And we start to, as we awaken, we start to make that shift. We go, well, actually, this world makes no sense at all. I once thought it did, but it really doesn't. And so it's only logical to let it go. It's it's an anomaly. It's a departure from reality. It's not something that that I want to keep. All right, so number 6. Happy to move to that.
Yeah. This is the shift that true perception brings. What was projected out is seen within, and there forgiveness lets it disappear. What was projected out is perceived within, and there letting go lets it disappear.
Letting go lets it disappear. Allows it to disappear.
Yeah. For there the altar of the sun is set, and there his father is remembered. For there the foundation to the extension is set, and there its source is remembered. Here are all illusions brought to truth and laid upon the altar. Here are all illusions brought to truth and laid upon the foundation.
Let's make it personalized. Yes. Here I bring all illusions to truth and lay them on the foundation, give them up. Favor of the foundation. To accept the foundation. Up to accept the foundation instead. Okay, what is seen outside?
What is seen outside must lie beyond letting go, for it seems to be forever sinful. What I perceive outside
is outside.
Well, we see the original. Huh?
Yeah.
What is seen outside must lie beyond forgiveness. For it
What I
seems
perceive as outside me is what I perceive as outside me must lie beyond letting go, which seems to be forever sinful. So I look outside and I go, well, look at the world. It's a mess. There's just all this chaos and there's pain and there's suffering and it seems to be hopeless, forever sinful. If I focus my attention outside. So, watching the news and stuff is not generally the way, unless you're doing it from a mind-watching perspective, to awaken, because you just keep confirming to yourself, you're in this pretty awful reality. I mean, objectively, seen, you look at the news, it's a nightmare. Most of it is horrible.
Yeah.
So war going on here, and someone's suffering there. There's economic scarcity there, and then we have the sport. But then of course that's very dualistic as well, because someone's delighted that they've won, and someone's in the doldrums because they've lost. As you know, we saw with the World Cup recently. It's like bizarre, really.
Yeah.
So uh, that's so-called reality that we all think is true and real. I mean, it's just this thing. No, not at all. None of it's real. Fortunately, there is hope while sin is seen as outside. Um, so, uh, and can I have any hope while I perceive sin as outside me?
Yes, that's good. What remedy can guilt expect? But seen within your mind, guilt and forgiveness for an instant lie together, side by side upon one altar. But perceived within my mind, guilt and letting go lie together for an instant, side by side upon one foundation. You've got two fours in that sentence, John.
Perceiving my guilt and letting go
Yeah, take that one out.
lie together for a moment, side by side.
There at last are sickness and its single remedy joined in one healing brightness.
There are sickness and single remedy joined in one healing radiance, shall we say,
Yeah.
at last.
By single remedy, does he mean death?
No. The single remedy is at one moment,
Ah,
joined in one healing radiance at last. So you bring guilt to letting go, and you go, well, this guilt isn't real.
okay.
I see its unreality, and in that, at one moment happens. If I really get that fully, then I'm free. It's like, well, none of this is real. It never happened. I'm not guilty. Wow, I'm completely free of all the consequences of guilt and sin, which is all on everything, evil and unhappy and unpleasant that's ever happened is a consequence of guilt and sin. And in that moment, I'm free of it because I realize it's unreal. That's what he's saying. And then God has come to claim his own.
Yeah.
The way of the perfect love has come to claim its own. Letting go is complete. So what's he saying in that one?
It's saying that when we truly let go, guilt disappears and there can be no longer any concept of misdoing or separation.
Yeah. When I really saying bring the remedy, which is letting go, to guilt and sin, and realize that only one of them is true. Uh, Letting go and guilt and sin completely contradict each other. So I have to choose. Do I believe in sin and guilt and that reality, or am I willing to accept that they're unreal and therefore letting go is the only thing to do? It comes down to, what do I choose? Reality or unreality? Okay, so number 7, let me move on to that.
And now God's knowledge, changeless, certain, pure, and whole, and wholly understandable, enters its kingdom. And now perfect love's knowledge, changeless, certain, and pure, and wholly understandable, enters its domain. Gone is perception, false and true alike. Perception is gone, false and true alike.
Let's just say both. Both.
Yeah.
Both false and true perception
Are gone. Gone is forgiveness, for its task is done. Letting go is gone as well, for its task is done. And gone are bodies in the blazing light upon the altar to the God of, and gone are bodies in the blazing light upon the altar to the Son of God. And bodies are gone in the pure formless awareness that rests upon the foundation, the extension of perfect love. God knows it is his own as it is his. Pure formless awareness of perfect love knows it is its own as it is his.
So as it is, its extensions. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Knows it is its own as it is its, as it is his being an extension. Knows it is its own as it is his, as it is its. Extensions. This is its own as it is its extensions. And here they join.
And here they join, for here the face of Christ has shone away time's final instant. And now is the last perception of the world without a purpose and without a cause. And here they join, for here the identity of my true self has shone away time's final moment. And now the world is at last perceived as without purpose and without a cause. For where God's memory has come at last, there is no journey, no belief in sin, no walls, no bodies, and the grim appeal of guilt and death is there snuffed out forever. For where perfect love's memory has come at last, there is no journey, no belief in sin, no walls and no bodies, and the grim appeal of guilt and death is forever snuffed out there.
Read that from the top.
And now perfect love's knowledge, changeless, certain, pure, and wholly understandable, enters its domain. Both false and true perception are gone. Letting go is gone as well, as its task is over, for its task is over. And bodies are gone in the pure formless awareness that is the foundation of the extension of perfect love. Pure formless awareness of perfect love knows this is its own, as it is its extensions. And here they join, for here the identity of my true self has shone away time's final moment. And now the world is at last perceived as without a purpose and without a cause. For where perfect love's memory has come at last, there is no journey, no belief in sin, no walls and no bodies, and the grim appeal of guilt and death is forever snuffed out there.
So what's he saying that one?
So it's saying when we enter this state of complete letting go, everything, everything disappears in the sense of it melts into this pot of peace and love.
Mm, exactly. Just fades away into nothingness. And he's pointing here to the merging of the Father and the Son, extension, and its source as one, and all these false beliefs are gone. And we simply exist as pure formless awareness of perfect love. Um, there's no separation between us and that state. We are in that state wholly and completely. And there's no other belief. It's all gone. Everything else falls away. So it's completely transcendent of this reality. I heard even Ram Dass. I mean, he was fairly enlightened, but he was saying in one of his recordings, nature is a manifestation of God. It's like that's completely false. See, that makes the world real, doesn't it? God has manifested the world. God's created the world. That's the problem that we have, that most people struggle. Even advanced, I mean, he was fairly advanced. Ram Dass had, you know, he had he was a good teacher. He had a following. I've heard him lecture. Some of his ideas are true, but then God has created the world. Then no, 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 no. You're completely off track there. Because if God did, then sin and guilt and fear and attack and everything we experience here must be real. Therefore, if God created it, must be eternal. Then there's no escape. You're trapped in time and space, doomed to live and suffer and die forever. And that this is all God's plan somehow. And then we try and figure that out and go, well, why would God do that? And there's no answer, is there? None of the religions have ever answered that question. Why would a loving God do this and put you here? God put you here. Well, why? Why would he do that? And that's clearly not the answer. The answer is, we did it to ourselves. This has nothing whatsoever to do with God. It's got nothing to do with divine love at all. We did it to ourselves. It's a delusion that just needs to be recognized as such and let go of. All right. So happy with number 7. You want to do number 8?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, my brothers, if you only knew the peace that will envelop you and hold you safe and pure and lovely in the mind of God, you could but rush to meet him where his altar is. Oh, my companions, if I only knew the peace that will envelop me and hold me safe and pure and lovely in the pure formless awareness, perfect love, I could but rush to meet it where its foundation is. Hallowed your name and his, for they are joined here in this holy place. Hallowed are my identity and its presence, for they are joined here in this holy place.
Can we say innocent in this innocent or pure, this pure place, in this pure, and it's not really a place, it's a state. In this pure state, it would be better than this holy place.
Here he leans down to lift you up to him out of illusions into holiness, out of the world and to eternity, out of all fear and given back to love. Here it leans down to lift me up to itself, out of illusions into pure formless awareness, out of the world and into eternity, out of all fear and given back to love.
Okay, so just read that from the top to close it out.
Oh, my companions, if I only knew the peace that will envelop me and hold me safe and pure and lovely in the pure formless awareness of perfect love, I could only rush to meet it where its foundation is. Hallowed are my identity and its, for they are joined here in its pure state. Here it leans down to lift me up to itself, out of illusions and into pure formless awareness, out of the world and into eternity, out of all fear and given back to love.
Hmm. Yeah. So overall summary, what's he saying in this one?
It's saying that if we could only get a glimpse of what is on offer beyond this world, we would have no hesitation in going totally towards it.
Hmm. And moving beyond perception to knowledge,
Mm.
saying knowledge perception isn't isn't ultimately true, but knowledge is just another name for the truth.
Good. Done just
Yeah,
bang on time, John.
yeah, yeah. I'm happy with that. I'll do a little exec summary just now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'll send it out so you can read that. But if I don't go now, I'm gonna be late and then I get in trouble. So
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
not do that. Rather keep the peace. So
yeah.
I'll see you tomorrow. Probably do an evening session. What afternoon
Okay.
or evening? Would that work better for you?
I can't do the afternoon. I may possibly be able to do the evening. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll let you know. I'm just gonna discuss it with
You
everyone.
you
So
you you do what suits you, John.
yeah, I'll let you know
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the group tomorrow, and I'll send out this recording.
yeah,
Sorry, this document once I've finished it.
yeah. Have a good afternoon.
Okay. Thank you, John.
So, thanks.
All right. Bye for now. All right. So that's a wrap for today. Thanks to John for joining. Short, sweet session today. Really, the key message is let go of perception and sin and guilt, which is involved in perception, foundation of perception, and surrender to knowledge, which transcends it completely and is eternal. So if you'd like to join us, register for the masterclass in January. We'll be starting this program again in February. So there's a link below. You can do that. Subscribe to the channel if you like the content, and you can also get to hear from me on Telegram with an inspirational quote and a daily workbook lesson. There's a link below to do that. So hope to see you on the inside soon. Thanks for joining, and namaste, which means the peace in me, knowledge and honors that same peace in you.